Before we get into the news, let's address something that I have in mind. The reason why I got almost 1,000 of subscribers today is admittedly because of my Chris Stuckman video. Hell, I got more than the amount of subscribers than I initially had. You know, I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. You guys rock. So in this video, we're going back to Ghostbusters 2016. I've made an admittedly poorly made video on Ghostbusters 2016 last time. You can check that video out if you want to, but this time I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing my best because we have a very special news about this movie and some really interesting discoveries that I found right after the last video. The director, Paul Feig, stated that the geek culture is the worst kind of thing that he has ever experienced, especially when knowing that his movie trailer is the most disliked trailer in the entire world. Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's start off this video with a little PSA. As a content creator, whether on YouTube or fanfiction.net or SoundCloud or anywhere else, you have no control over what kind of feedback that you will receive. None. No matter how good you make your content, you cannot stop the bad or harsh feedback from coming. There is no way for you to stop those feedbacks. It's gonna come in anyway. And remember, all of this will come regardless of how well you do your work. So the most important thing here is to just keep doing whatever you do, give your absolute best, and let the feedbacks come in. Another important thing is how you deal with those feedbacks. You might find feedbacks that are constructive, but you can also find those that are at best unnecessary and at worst harmful. If you find these kinds of feedbacks, either ignore them entirely or just flip your finger at them and tell them to go screw themselves. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Mr. Feig, you need to learn from Justin Bieber. In a daily basis, he got haters up his own ass, and you know what he did? He flipped his fingers at them and told them to go screw themselves. If Justin Bieber has a lot more balls than you do, you got a problem, man. So Paul Feig was interviewed by Daily News, and here's what he has to say to all the haters. Geek culture is home to some of the biggest assholes I've ever met in my life, especially after being attacked by them for months because of this Ghostbusters project. And those weren't just his comments, friend. This is a comment he made a year ago in 2015. The first wave when you make an announcement like that is overwhelmingly positive. Everyone's so happy and you're like, this is great. Then comes the second wave and you're like, oh my god, some of the most vile misogynistic shit I have ever seen in my life. Oh, if you thought that's not enough, you see this harmless Twitter status from a very harmless user who points out a legitimate critique about his lack of care for the movie in question? What an asshole. Let him burn. Paul, if you were seriously being attacked by these haters even after a year ago, I'm gonna try to be nice to you because you have a very soft and tender snowflake heart that this asshole geek like me can break in a few seconds. You need to open your eyes for just a moment and have some self-introspection. So let's ask the relevant question. Why are geeks attacking your Ghostbusters project for more than a year? I'm gonna answer that to you. People hate remakes, and you are actively taking a part of making what looked like a bad movie by taking the name of an already beloved movie. This entire hate would not come into you if you don't put the Ghostbusters name on your movie. Listen, the best diversity that this world has is the diversity of opinions, viewpoints, and perspectives. It's a wonderful thing to learn about what people think, regardless of whether or not you agree or disagree with them. You want to understand their viewpoint. You want to know why they have those viewpoints and where they're coming from. Maybe you see things in a different perspective after all of that. In Paul's case, he really did see things in a different perspective. Maybe a little too different. There's an email leak of a conversation between him and the producer Pascal that reveals that he's not really that interested about making Ghostbusters like the original movie. He's interested on making his bizarre version of Ghostbusters. Go and read the email yourself. I'll get the link to you in the doobly-doo. You know, Paul, I'm really starting to question your mentality as an artist by the time you tweeted this monstrosity. Help fund feminist frequency? A YouTube series made by someone who in all of her videos have disabled all comments, disabled ratings, dismissed all criticisms as harassment, using incredibly bogus and cherry-picked data to support her monstrous claims that all gamers are sexist, someone who didn't even finish her Kickstarter promise and went to the UN to complain about the internet trolls? Paul, are you serious, man? Are you freaking serious? Wait a second. Let's get back to that email. Who is Amy Pascal? Amy Pascal is a former chairman of Sony Pictures Entertainment who holds the production rights of this movie. She's also a feminist, which definitely makes things 10 times better. She's also the executive producer of a movie detailing the harassment that the indie game developer Zoe Quinn received from GamerGate. Ah yes, Zoe Quinn, the game developer that colluded and banged a game journalist to get a positive publication on her own game, and when GamerGate brought this issue to them, the entire gaming press went on to defend her and disguise it as harassment. I don't trust that, Amy. I really don't. So are there any people left defending this movie? Honestly? Enter Tom Rothman, Sony's head and downright infamous executive meddler, unleashing what Cinema Blend called an epic rant. Everybody says I'm making the female Ghostbusters, but I say no, we're making the funny Ghostbusters. Yes, it happens to be for women. It's original. You get pissing and moaning on the internet sexist comments, but you know, fuck them. If you don't know who Tom Rothman is, you'll be laughing your ass off. He's the same guy who says, this is okay, and this is not. This is okay. 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 Tom Rothman, you're a freaking moron. So, in conclusion, the higher-ups who defend this movie are a bunch of morons. Paul Feig is balls smaller than that of Justin Bieber and has completely lost his crap and beginning to insult his audience, and the mainstream press dismissing all legitimate criticism of this movie as misogyny and harassment towards women are a bunch of moronic morons as well. After knowing the kind of people that are producing this movie and the production going on behind it, this is a movie that I am certain will lead to absolute failure. My last Ghostbusters video has a wide reach and not one comment has ever answered this very important question, so I'm gonna ask you again, dear viewers. Who is the target audience for this movie? The Ghostbusters fan? Nope, they'll think this movie is gonna be awful. The social justice warriors? Definitely no, they think this movie is racist. The mainstream audience? What does that dislike ratio tell you? So, in an attempt to please everybody, Ghostbusters 2016 successfully pleased nobody. Great freaking job, Sony, and I thought you could desecrate a beloved franchise even more with that trailer. You have gone so far as to even fail on the basic grasp of target audience. You have gone so far as to dismiss all legitimate criticisms as misogyny and hate. You have gone so far as to insult your entire fan base. You have gone so far as to take the name of a beloved franchise and put it into what looks like a poorly written, unfunny, and cringeworthy comedy for the sake of publicity. And the worst part, you have gone so far as to push a political agenda as a priority over telling a good story. Screw your politics. Screw you for throwing accusations of misogyny and sexism everywhere like it's daily for you. And for the love of God, screw this PC culture bullcrap. You guys think that you are so entitled to not be offended. You think that it's human rights to not be offended. You decided to push that human rights of not being offended up your own ass to the point of denying reality.
You're running away from the truth because it's ugly?
Why not? What's wrong with running away from reality if it sucks?
You decided to not take any responsibility and blame everybody for the crap that you made because that's what a lot of successful people do.
I gotta blame somebody, otherwise it's all my fault. Fuck that.
This movie is so hijacked with political correctness, I have to put this clip from Ghost Stories to get my point across.
What? What in the hell? What happened to you?
I got beat up by an apparition of Gloria Steinem.
Who are you calling an apparition?
That's all for the video today. If you like this, you can go ahead and click the like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching and screw this movie.